Speaking of superstars, the superstars in school are going to be honored tomorrow at the Seed Award reception. And here to tell us all about what the Seed Award is from the Battle Creek Public Schools, the Family and Community Engagement Coordinator, Niaka Dunbar, is with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Very nice to have you here. And also from the Battle Creek Community Foundation, Scholarship Development Officer Rachel Chapin Zapf.
Good morning. Thank you.
I almost got your name right. It's Zapf, right?
Very well.
Gosh, it's nice to have you in here. We were just talking about the film festival last night. The Community Foundation was kind of partnered with Penfield schools and Harper Creek schools, and we're hoping to involve even more schools. The kids produce these short videos about some great things in Battle Creek, nonprofits, and some of our parks and other things, and they were. It was unbelievable because, and if you've been to the cheap flicks out on Helmer Road, you know the parking lot goes way up the hill and it goes and it goes and it goes. And I remember thinking, why do they make such a huge parking lot here? You know, because it hasn't been full for a long time. It was full last night. People were remarking, you know, this parking lot hasn't been this jammed in a while, but it was really good to see, and it just keeps getting better. Now we're going to talk about the Seed Award program. What Seed's an acronym, right?
Yes, it is. It's an acronym for Save, Encourage, Educate, Dream.
All right, and so tell us how this came to be and what it's all about.
So BCPS wanted to honor and recognize their students who are outstanding citizens and academics in the classroom. And they also wanted to get them excited for their future education after high school. So they developed the Seed Awards. And what these are is they are a $500 529 college savings account. So it's a lot like your 401k, but to go to college. So it's invested and you get to control the funds and how you use it as long as it's for higher education. And it just encourages students and their families to know that they can pay for school once they graduate.
Wow. Now, how many of these awards are going to be given out?
So we're going to award 23 awesome students on tomorrow evening.
23, that's like $10,000-$12,000, isn't it? I mean, where does this money come from?
Well, we're very fortunate. We have a ton of community support. Everyone from the Kellogg Company to Kellogg Community College to individuals who have graduated from Battle Creek Public Schools. We have over 26 people who have already donated this year. And also the W.K. Kellogg Foundation set up an endowment fund that allows us to give some of the scholarships directly from that fund every year.
I'm not too familiar with these 529 savings accounts, but I think you kind of described it pretty well. It's like a 401k for education. Does that mean students and families can then continue to add to that account once it's set up?
Yes, they can. That's why we paired with Omni Community Credit Union. They have lots of local branches, so they can just walk into Omni and give $5 or $10, celebrate birthdays with it. That's what I do with my family. They say they don't need more toys, you know.
So I'm seeing there's more to this acronym SEED than just Save, Encourage, Educate, Dream. And if you've already got the account set up and there's $500 in it, now there's great incentive to start saving and putting money in there. Grandparents or uncles and aunts, you know, can add to it.
Exactly. Or if you're a high school student and you have a summer job, why not put some of your summer money into there?
Well, and in fact, you should, because that's part of being a responsible adult. And let's get started on that right away, huh?
Exactly. The price of college tuition just keeps going up. So this is a great way for Battle Creek Public Schools students to pair the scholarships that they have through the school and through the Battle Creek Community Foundation, along with Legacy Scholars, which is a 2-year college promise program at Kellogg Community College. All of those ways make it potential for success for all of our students.
Now, this isn't brand new, right, Nikki? We've been doing this for a couple of years or so.
Yeah, so the Seed Award program started in 2016. We awarded 18 scholarships in the inception year, and we've been able to increase those numbers every year, and we look to increase them next year as well.
How does it get administered? How do you figure out which students are going to get the $500 grants or not?
So all BCPS students in grades kindergarten through 11th grade are eligible. So even if they don't have a GPA of 3.0, they can still apply. So what they'll do is they'll fill out an application, they'll write an essay. If they don't have a 3.0 GPA, they'll write another essay explaining their plan for how they're going to raise their GPA. And then they submit those. Community partners throughout Battle Creek come in and they do a blind read, and then they select the students that win based off of their essays and their letters of recommendation.
So at some point, you put the ball in the student's court, and you basically say, we're going to be doing this. You got to take action now if you want to be honored or considered for one of these scholarships.
Yeah, so we normally start that process in late October, early November, making the applications available in the schools and starting to make announcements for the community, because the letters of recommendations don't have to come from teachers or the principals. They can come from pastors, coaches, anybody that works with young people in the community.
Wow. And what, there's an advisory board? What's that made of?
Yeah. Go ahead.
The advisory board is comprised of quite a few different individuals throughout the community. And we just make sure that it is being well implemented every year. The advisory board did a lot of work the year of 2016 to steer the direction of this new program, because it's something that we don't have anywhere else in Battle Creek, so it's kind of new.
Do other schools have this too?
Not right now, but we're hoping we could expand it to other schools at some juncture.
Yeah, and I don't know, other cities. I mean, I really haven't heard too much about this, although it doesn't surprise me that we have it. It seems like it's something we should have had for a long, long time.
Exactly. This is a new movement that's going on throughout the United States. Some communities choose to do it on an entire community-wide level, or on like the state of Maine. The entire state of Maine is doing it, but that's through their state government. So there's a lot of really interesting new research that's being developed and happening around what these programs are doing. And what it's shown is that if you have $500 or even less in a college savings account, you're 3 times more likely to go to college and then to complete college. Because everyone knows sometimes you just have a tight situation when it comes to money, and you need a little bit of extra cash that you can't get from a student loan or from a traditional scholarship. Maybe you need to pay rent or groceries, or everyone needs to have a cell phone nowadays, that kind of thing. So these programs are really showing to be very effective, and also to increase everyone's sensors when it comes to thinking about higher education at a young age, because GPA and really learning in the classroom and increasing everyone's motivation and the idea that we all can get higher education, which also does include, certificates, professional licensing, things like that. It doesn't have to be a 4-year college. It just has to be higher education.
And it gets people thinking about the value of higher education at a young age. All of a sudden there's that account, and they can get excited about, looking forward to it. And, I think that's a great component. And we're also seeing a lot of stories right now. I mean, there's been some talk about politicians forgiving all student loans, and I don't know how that would ever happen, because that's a lot of money. But what these stories have done is they've shown that higher education is not cheap. It's a serious thing, and anything you can do ahead of time is going to, lessen that burden a little bit.
Yep. The idea is to prepare everyone for higher education, both financially, socially, and educationally, all throughout that K through 12 process. So, and I have to tell you, the essays these students write about their future careers are amazing. Even at the kindergarten, first grade, second grade level, they are dreaming. And then the recommenders say amazing things about these students. And it really feeds the soul to hear celebrating young people who are so prepared for their future.
Next year, when we have the 4th year of the SEED program, I'll ask you to bring a few of those. We'll share them.
That would be wonderful.
That would be a lot of fun. We're talking about the SEED Awards and the SEED program. SEED stands for Save, Encourage, Educate, and Dream. Our guests from the Battle Creek Community Foundation Scholarship Development Officer Rachel Chapin Zapf, and also from the Battle Creek Public Schools Family and Community Engagement Coordinator Niaka Dunbar. And had to shorten my equipment here. All of a sudden, everything went off. This is very exciting. We're talking about a program where students can apply, and if they are awarded, they get $500. It's set up in a 529 savings account. The key of that account, tell us more about how that works, and what if the student decides they don't want to go to college, and there's a bunch of money in that account.
So the wonderful thing about the SEED award is that the funds are transferable. So we had in our 2016 year a kindergartner in. So by the time she's graduated, that fund will have gained interest over the years. If she decides that she doesn't want to take advantage of a post-secondary program, then she can pass that award on to an immediate family member who might want to use it as well.
Oh, great. Brother, sister, or maybe mom wants to go back to school.
Her
Whoever
own
lives in the
children,
home.
eventually.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And I guess there's no time limit, huh?
Yeah,
No.
that's the beauty of it being kind of like a 401k is you can keep it invested as long as you would like to. It just has to be used for higher education.
If I had one of these 529 savings accounts and I decided I want to stick $1,000 in there, is that like pre-tax, or are there tax advantages to that?
It is post-tax for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's pretty interesting. Now, what can you use it for? I mean, obviously there's major universities, there's community colleges, but what's the whole scope of what a 529 could be used for?
So our students can use their 529 funds for any accredited educational institution. So whether it's trucking school, cosmetology school, whatever their career aspirations are, as long as the program that they're participating in is accredited, they can use those funds for that. They can also use it for books, they can use it for housing, whatever educational needs they have. They just have to fill out a form and submit it to Omni, and then they'll release the funds so that they can use them.
I think maybe one of the most exciting things that I've heard you guys say is that you take a student who's borderline, maybe struggling a little bit at some point in their education, and they're thinking, I'm never going to be college material. Gives them a chance to stop and take a look at that and say, well, wait a minute, maybe I could be college material. What do I need to do? Actually put that on paper and get the account started. Never say never, but I think it's probably easy for students to get discouraged if they get through a rough academic path.
Exactly. Well, and the reality of today's economy is that everyone has to get higher education that are going to school right now. And I don't care what it is. Maybe it's barber school, maybe it's doing an apprenticeship, but it's necessary for this upcoming workforce that we have going on. So it's setting a standard that everyone has to do this. You can do it. We know you can. It's just how. And where do you want to go? What are your dreams?
So tell us again tomorrow what's going to happen and where and when and all of that.
So we're going to recognize our awesome students on tomorrow at Battle Creek Central High School in their gymnasium from 5 to 7 p.m. We are going to showcase some of our students from our elementaries as far as entertainment. We have some wonderful guest speakers that are here in town. We have a full house ready to go, and we're just going to honor our students for their hard work.
Going to be at the new gym tomorrow, Friday, May 3rd, 5 to 7. And how many students again are going to be recipients?
We have 23 seat recipients this year.
23. You happen to know offhand what the youngest one, what age of the youngest one it might be?
We have 2 kindergartners.
Really?
Yeah. And we're going to be reading from their recommendation letters. So you'll be able to see exactly what people are saying about these students. And then the students themselves say a little something.
Wow. And they're getting started early. They're going to have these accounts at 6 years of age.
Yes.
So they got a good 10, 12 years to keep building that account and keep building their enthusiasm for furthering their education.
Precisely. And we hope they'll receive it one or two more times while they're at school there.
Oh, so they could repeat.
Exactly.
They could win every year if they enter and
Yep.
get the right essay and impress the panel. And
Precisely.
wow,
We
Yeah.
already have some who have received it multiple times.
is there a cap on how many? Does it depend on the endowment or
Nope,
No.
there's no cap.
there's no cap? So if you've got a kid in the Battle Creek schools, there's no excuse for not looking into this. So at least for next year. So
Yep.
next,
Sky's the limit.
yeah, that's great. Well, we appreciate you being with us today, Battle Creek Community Foundation Scholarship Development Officer Rachel Zapf, and also Battle Creek Public Schools Family and Community Engagement Coordinator Niaka Dunbar. Thank you very much, and keep up the great work, okay?
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.